The best lesson plan in the world doesn't matter if your students aren't focused enough to learn it. That's why classroom management might be one of the most important skills we have as band directors. In this video, I'm sharing 6 classroom management tips that build more efficient rehearsals, hold your students accountable, and help you create a culture where everyone knows what's expected. Let's talk about it. Tip number 1 is to teach your routines. One of the biggest mistakes we make is assuming students understand our procedures just because we explain them once. We would never hand our band a piece of music, rehearse it one time, and expect them to play it perfectly for the rest of the year. Routines and procedures have to be practiced just like music. During the first few weeks of school, take time to rehearse how students enter, set up, transition between pieces, ask questions, and pack up. And if a routine starts breaking down later in the year, stop and practice it again. That's not wasted rehearsal time. Every minute you spend reinforcing a procedure saves you many more minutes down the road. Classroom management begins before you ever step onto the podium. Students should know exactly what to do the moment they walk in. Maybe the agenda is on the board, maybe the first warm-up is already listed, maybe they know to assemble their instruments, get their music in order, and start a specific task. Whatever your system is, students shouldn't have to wait for you to tell every single person what happens next. And the podium itself should mean something. When you step onto it, students should understand that rehearsal is starting or that you need their full attention. But that meaning only exists if you protect it. Use a consistent signal, wait for the ensemble to give you their attention, and start when everyone is ready. You don't need to yell over the room. Constantly raising your voice just teaches students they don't have to respond until you hit a certain volume. A predictable routine will always beat trying to overpower a class full of students with instruments. Tip number 2 is to design your rehearsals. A lot of behavior problems are really just rehearsal design problems. That doesn't mean every issue disappears with a better lesson plan, but students are far more likely to have behavior problems when they're bored, confused, waiting, or unsure what they're supposed to be doing. Every second of dead time is an opportunity for a behavior problem. Dead time is when you're digging for music, fixing an instrument in front of the whole band, reorganizing your plan, taking too long to decide where to start, or talking more when students should be playing more. The longer students sit without a clear task, the more likely they are to invent their own, and it rarely helps the rehearsal. This doesn't mean every second has to feel rushed. It means your transitions should be intentional. Have the next piece ready, know where you're starting, give the ensemble something to do while you work with a specific section. Students should always know what they're responsible for, even when your attention is somewhere else for a moment. They should also know the plan. At the beginning of class, show them what the plan is for the day. That creates direction, it makes transitions easier because nothing is a surprise, and it creates accountability. If the band knows you need to get through 4 things and poor behavior makes the first one take twice as long to get through, they can see how their choices affect everybody. And whenever possible, students should spend more time playing than listening to you talk. They join band to play their instruments, so let them play. Keep your instructions short. Give them 1 or 2 specific things to fix, then let them play again and respond to what you actually hear. A quick correction followed by immediate playing will almost always beat a long speech explaining every reason the music didn't sound the way that it should have. So before you assume a student just has a bad attitude, look at the rehearsal first. Is the music too hard? Too easy? Are transitions dragging? Is one section sitting silent while you work with another for 10 minutes? Good rehearsal design won't erase every behavior issue, but it removes a lot of the conditions that let those problems grow in the first place. And if planning that out feels like a lot, I've got you covered. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment of this video to download my free yearly calendar template. It's built to help you map out every instructional day for the entire year so you walk into every rehearsal with a plan already in place. It's completely free and it's designed specifically for band directors. Tip number 3 is to protect your expectations. Students need to know your expectations actually mean something. If you give the same direction 5 times, they learn the first 4 didn't count. Repeating yourself can accidentally train your band to ignore you. Give 1 clear instruction, pause, and let them respond. If they don't, address it. Don't talk over the side conversations or start the next thing while students aren't listening. Sometimes a student genuinely didn't hear you or needs clarification, and that's fine. But there's a difference between clarifying directions and letting the first time saying those directions be treated as optional. And don't renegotiate expectations you've already made clear. Some students will try to turn every direction into a debate. Some of these may be real questions that deserve a real answer. But an expectation you've already established shouldn't become a daily negotiation. We start on time because punctuality is an important habit to build, is an explanation of a previously set expectation. But spending 5 minutes going back and forth about whether punctuality even matters at all is a negotiation of that expectation. You can be respectful and still keep the line where it is. And most importantly, follow through. An expectation without follow through is just a suggestion. If students break a rule over and over and nothing happens, they learn the rule doesn't really exist. Your consequences should be consistent, predictable, reasonable, and in line with your school and district policies. Don't threaten something you aren't willing or able to actually do. Start with the things you can follow through on every single time. It doesn't have to be dramatic either. A seat change, a parent phone call, a lost privilege, a reflection sheet, or a referral are all perfectly reasonable options. The goal isn't punishment for its own sake. It's to teach students that their choices have predictable outcomes. Tip number 4 is to build your relationships. Relationships are classroom management. Students are far more likely to respond to a director they trust. That doesn't mean becoming their friend, avoiding correction, or lowering your standards. It means they know you respect them, you care about their growth, and you genuinely want them to succeed. Learn their names fast. Notice when something seems off. Ask about their interests, celebrate their improvement, and respect them when you see them outside of class as well. Those small interactions build credibility over time, and they give you context too. A student who's suddenly unfocused might be dealing with something that has nothing to do with band. That doesn't mean the expectation disappears, but it might change how you approach the conversation. And remember that trust goes both ways. We expect students to earn our trust, but they're deciding whether they can trust us too. They notice whether consequences are fair, whether you keep your promises, whether you treat everyone the same, and whether you can admit when you're wrong. If you say there will be a consequence and then let it slide, or you promise a reward and forget it, they remember. Trust is built when your words and your actions match. And when they do, student correction lands better because it's clearly coming from someone invested in them instead of someone just trying to control them. Tip number 5 is to correct by being calm. Being calm is contagious. Students tend to match the energy of the director. If you get visibly frustrated or aggressive, the whole room tightens up. If you stay calm and direct, they're much more likely to settle with you. Now, calm doesn't mean passive. You can be completely calm and still hold a student accountable. You can give a consequence without turning it into a public scene during your rehearsal. You can stop the rehearsal, handle the behavior, and move on without letting one moment derail the rest of class. And whenever you can, correct privately. Public correction is sometimes necessary, especially when the behavior is affecting the whole ensemble, but a private conversation takes away the student's audience and the possible embarrassment that might come with that. Catch them when everyone's packing up, ask them to step into the hallway, or quietly talk to them while the band is working. Tell them what you saw, restate the expectation, and make the next step clear. That doesn't weaken your accountability. It usually makes it stronger because now it's about the behavior instead of the student trying to save face in front of their friends. And know this, the whole class is watching how you handle your most difficult students. They're noticing whether you lose control, whether you ignore it, whether it gets personal, or whether you stay fair. And if they see one person derail rehearsal again and again with nothing happening, they lose faith in the structure. If they see you humiliate that student, they'll follow the rules out of fear instead of trust. So be firm, stay calm, and address the behavior without attacking the student. The way you handle your hardest moments will define your credibility more than any of the easiest moments. Tip number 6 is to grow your culture. Classroom management gets stronger when students start reinforcing the expectations themselves. Rules tell students what they're required to do. Culture shapes what they believe people in your program just naturally do. One of the best ways to build that culture is specific praise. Instead of a quick good job, name what they actually did well. Something like, I love how quickly the clarinets improved after that correction. Or, that was the first entrance where everyone watched and breathed together. Specific praise teaches the whole ensemble what success looks like. And doing it publicly is powerful because when students see effort, preparation, kindness, and leadership get noticed, they start repeating those things. So praise publicly whenever it's earned and correct privately whenever you can. Over time, your band figures out what your program values. And in a strong band culture, students start correcting themselves. Older students help the younger students learn the routines. They take action without being reminded. They treat their instruments, their music, and each other with respect because that's simply how the band operates. That kind of culture takes time. It grows out of the example you set, your expectations, your relationships, and the behaviors you reinforce day after day. The goal of classroom management is never to control every student during every second of rehearsal. The goal is to have a room where students understand the expectations, trust their director, take ownership of their choices, and add to the success of the ensemble. That doesn't mean every rehearsal will be perfect. Kids are still kids. An instrument will still squeak at the exact moment you ask for silence, and someone will still forget the procedure you've practiced 100 times. But with clear systems and consistent leadership, those become little interruptions instead of the identity of your classroom. Before students can play great music, they need an environment where great teaching and learning can actually happen. And that lets you spend less time reacting to behavior and more time doing what you got into this for, helping your students become better musicians and better people. If you want a deep dive into building a strong band culture within your program, check out this video right here. And be sure to click the link in the description or the pinned comment of this video for my free Band Director Yearly Calendar template. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.